You're listening to the Just Wins podcast, where we discuss winners, black bookers, and much more. Enjoy the show.
Can he do it? Chautauqua, he's flying! Yes! There's history!
But a champion becomes a legend! Makoni Debra's won it! The pride of Australia is the greatest show on earth.
Welcome everybody to another week of the Just Wins podcast. We're up to podcast number 14 for Saturday, the 1st of August 2020. As you might know, it's the horse's birthday, so there'll be a lot of 2-year-olds turning 3 and 3-year-olds turning 4 and so on and so on. As per usual, it's Just Wins. And Adam, are you out there, mate?
Hey guys, I'm here. How are we?
Yeah, good. And Lee?
Hey boys, how you going?
Yep. Good, mate. It's good to talk to you guys as usual. Let's get straight into results from last week. It was a bit of a subdued week, I thought. We didn't put up a lot to start with because there was a bit of rain around in different locations, and we got a few scratchings, and then Dooman was abandoned as well. So we still toughed it out all right and got a few home. How did you go, Adam?
Yeah, not bad. I broke square for the day, as you know, and we were both on Viridine. That was our result for the day, which got us home. But yeah, it was actually quite a tough day for me personally. In Sydney, I had Order again, was my best bet. He was ordinary, didn't attack the line with any vigour whatsoever, and ran fourth.
He's a cat.
Absolutely, mate. That's a very apt term for that horse. And my other bets there was Glen All ran a good race. Probably Huey Bowman switched back onto the inside where it was probably inferior going, and he was only beaten about half a length. So I thought that was a really good run. And Shangani Patrol, the roughie, just probably wasn't good enough. He sat second. They ran along a moderate tempo, and he gave a bit of a sight, but yeah, finished fifth, beaten quite well.
Yeah, I thought he finished sixth actually, but that's all good. But
I'll take the fifth.
I know for sure because I got sixth as well. And I know Lee got sixth as well in the Roughie Roulette. So we'll get one. We started well the first week, and then we sort of dropped off a bit. So hopefully this week.
What odds would we get for running six in each one? Hey, be the better bet.
Put it out there. Myself for the tips, yeah, as you said, Viridine was a good win, and then my Roughie came sixth, and that was it because the I think it was the last 3 legs or the last 2 legs at Dooman were abandoned, and I got the quaddie, doubled my money. So I was patting myself on the back. But Lee, how'd you go, mate?
Okay, Sasco, if it had led the whole way, it would have been much better. But it was as to be expected. It was as good as I thought it was going to run. Muhammad Ayas was just better on the day. Samizdat was a bit plain. Not sure what's going on. I think it's just getting older, and it just needs a few more before it gets into its work. But it looked a bit better than its first start run. Just sort of looked like it was going to. Yeah, it looked like it was going to come into it, and then like I said, it was just a bit plain. So I'll still be watching it. Not sure if I'll back it next start, but I'll still watch it. I would not be surprised if it comes out and runs a much improved run next start out to the mile. Inspirational Girl, really good. We obviously put that post up during the week with video of her. She was sensational. She's obviously going on to big things. And then, as you spoke about the Roughie Roulette, it was just an average 6. It was a pretty poor ride, but, it was never really going to win the way it was going. So just missed a bit of profit, but we had a good winner in the day in Inspirational Girl anyway.
Yeah, Inspirational Girl broke the record for Pikey, as most of the followers out there know. And Samizdat wasn't bad, just wasn't good enough. So I think I don't know if they can drop back a grade or not. His rating's probably too high, and I don't know where he goes next, to be honest. He wasn't bad, just not winning at the moment. But anyways, big shout out to all the followers out there. I thought I'd shout out a bit earlier for everyone that was liking, commenting, and participating in our online polls and questions. It's always good to get some feedback and see who you guys are tipping out there. There was a few guys asking about the best of the best promo for Play Up, and I'm sure they were put to good use over the weekend because, things like Inspirational Girl, I think Lee tipped it about $2.20 or something, and was smashed into $1.70. So you take that $2.20 and you take it all the way to the bank because it was big overs. In the end, I think for anything to follow from the weekend, probably the only thing for me, apart from talking about the Hugh Bowman incident because it's been rehashed over and over, I just want to shed some light on that Mugatu. I think there's a few people call it Mugatu and whatnot. I thought it was a great return. Mate. It's Mugatu, surely. It's
straight from Zoolander.
Straight from Zoolander for sure. But to be a 2,000 metre, 2,400 metre horse and come back first up and win over the 1,500, I think it was. It's got a big prep ahead of it, and I'm sure the Australian Bloodstock boys will be all over it. Boys, anything else out there? Adam?
Yeah, I absolutely agree 100% with Mugatu. I did see a couple of horses around on Saturday I thought were quite handy. I don't know if you noticed in Adelaide, a horse called Parlophone sprinting home hard.
Hang on. Do you reckon that was as good as it looked? Like, I don't know. Like,
I don't know. You just have to see it on face value, mate. It was quite impressive.
I saw a few people put out like it was a top rating run and all this, and I was thinking, but what did it beat? Like,
yeah, no, not much, but yeah. I think it was impressive. It was running on 2 to their 1 down the outside. So just taking it on face value, I thought that was something that might step up into the spring. Outside of that, it was good to see. I know Glenall got beat by it, but it was good to see Eduardo put in a good performance. He's always been a horse who's been competitive at the top level, and obviously has fallen away in recent times. But yeah, Joey Pride's rejuvenated him, and he put in a good tough effort. So hopefully he can keep going.
His strike rate's amazing at the moment. I don't know which channel out there said it, but he's striking very well, and no doubt that'll put the mocker on him now, and they'll probably start unders for everyone following that lead. But yeah, Glenall, stick with him. That was a great run, I thought, and he'll be winning soon. Lee, did you see anything?
No, that's it. Nothing from me.
Just Inspirational Girl.
Correct, yep.
Correct. Let's move on. We usually have Group 1 banter. There's no group races. There's no listed races, so we skipped that. And I'll just talk about our new segments that we've got a bit later. We've got Roughie Roulette. We'll do that a bit later as usual. We usually have the Group 1 banter. And I think this week we're going to start Lay of the Day. And I'm sure we'll talk about that a bit later and the rules around that. But first, let's go to Adam at Randwick. And what do you know? It's a heavy again.
Oh, mate, you don't even have to look at the form guide to know it's a heavy at Randwick or in Sydney, anywhere they race. So anyway, it's come up a heavy 9 Thursday morning. It's meant to be fine Friday, Saturday, and there's some strong winds. So there's a chance it might dry out a bit, but I can't see it getting any better than a soft 7. So that's where I did my form for. The rail's out 9 metres from the 1,600 to the winning post, and then 7 metres the remainder. So see how it plays. It'll be a bit interesting with that rail out so far, but I'm hopeful it can race pretty fair. I have kept it really simple for us today. I've got one bet. It's quite short, but I think it just wins. I actually laid this horse last start, but this week I think it's going to win, and that's race 3, number 7, Cordia for the Godolphin team with Kathy O'Hara to ride. As I said, late at last start, but it did run really well in that race. It was over 1,200 at Rose Hill on a heavy track. It just got too far back. Chased hard, hit the line well for 4th there. The form out of the race is quite good. In and Up won the race. It goes around this week. It's a chance in a later race. Prime Candidate ran second. It ran a nice 3rd last week. Didn't have a lot of luck. And Poetic Charmer has since come out and won. So the form around it's all good. And yeah, this horse gets in the race at 52 kilos. I don't think. It's definitely not going to get as far back this week with the small field. There should be some decent pace out in front with You Make Me Smile and Man of Peace running them along. So I'm pretty sure it'll get over the top of them. And yeah, I'm going to want to just have 2 units a win on him at $2.20.
2 units straight out at $2.20. And yeah, with that 52 kilos, it's a good horse and should be winning. That's it, mate.
That's it, mate. I've got a winner later with the Roughie, but
all right.
That's it.
All right, mate. We'll wait for that with bated breath. Lee, you're at the Valley again. Second time in the last 4 weeks. What do you got for us?
Just the two, mate. So it's currently a soft 5 and probably will either remain that or get to a good 4, similar to Caulfield last week. It's good weather down there. So hopefully we are playing on a good track. Rail is in the true, so hopefully we'll also get a pretty fair day's play as well. As usual, though, settling in front half the field and experience at the track will go a long way to winning on the weekend. So the two have gone with race 1, number 2, Al Galileo. Yeah. For it's 420, so 1 unit on that. Al Galileo. Yeah, what is it? How do you say it, mate?
El Galil.
Okay, that one, yeah.
We definitely need to work on our names of horses.
We'd be the worst race callers ever. Anyway, definitely not going to call up anytime soon for that. But so it looks to be progressing nicely to win after last start. It was not suited 2 back at Caulfield against the bias, but hit the line nicely last start out to the mile and on a much more fair playing track. The big pluses for him in this is that he has won twice at the Valley, and the small field definitely suits. So I've just got him on speed map. He should sit sort of 1 pair back, hopefully, 1 off the rail. And the drier the track, the better. So I just think he gets the right run from this. I think Victoria Star probably has run grand final, has had an interrupted prep, and hasn't won yet on a good track. So I think he just ticks a few more boxes than him on Saturday. And double the price. I'm happy to back El Galileo at $4.20.
Yeah, is that straight out, mate?
Yep.
For the 1 unit. No worries. What do you got next?
Gone to race 6, number 5, Condos Express. $6 and $2.20. I want to have you 1 unit each way on him. This gelding has plenty of talent and didn't quite show it last prep, but has excuses for that. He gets a couple of things in his favour this time. He has impeccable form at the track. From his 3 starts so far, he's won twice and ran second on the other occasion. He also draws brilliantly to either lead or sit 1 pair back. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of pressure in this. So I think he should get a sweet run from the draw. And he just needs to show his best to be in this. I think there's a couple of question marks about a few of the other runners. So I'm happy to take the class for him and a progressive type. Let's get on.
And he's got a good track and distance stat about him. He's run first and second from 2 starts there. So I think he'll be in the money there, mate, with the Richard Lemming team. So just the 2 at Moonee Valley?
Yeah, mate, yep.
Okay, that's pretty easy. Look at that. All right, I'll rip in to Eagle Farm. It's a good 4 currently and is expected to be that way on Saturday with no rain around. Rail out, half a metre, doesn't really matter. Should be a ripping day. There's 9 races, so let's get straight into it. Race 7, I'm going to give Socialising another chance at $3.20 for 1.5 units to win. As I said, sticking with her after drifting $1.75 out to $2.90 last start, and it was ridden pretty casually. You know, what do you reckon, Adam? Do you reckon it was a pretty casual ride?
I thought so. Yeah, Mr. Notif was trying to do another Vega 1 last start. It was there was quite ordinary.
Little bit of a hush around that, and when it drifts from $1.75 out to $2.90, you've got to think something's up.
Because the horse began really well, was in a great spot, and he just eased back, just lost his position, and then it was held up in the straighter. Yeah, a nightmare, mate. Leave it at that.
And you know, being on a heavy 9, you can always blame it for spinning the wheels. But anyways, was beaten 0.8 of length by Leroy the Conqueror, who has then gone on and gone close again. Goes up 1.5 kilos, which doesn't really matter. But importantly, back on top of the ground, on a home track with Ryan Maloney on board, who is running hot. We'll need a similar ride, though. Does get back in the pack a little bit. You know, Maloney will have to do something like Matty Rocks did the previous week, but should spot the gaps and win well. So that's race 7, Socialising, $3.20 for 1.5 units to win. Race 8, straight into it, Mr. Bellagio. It'll be winning $2.80, 1.5 units. It's hard to knock this bloke. Comes out of the right form race in the eyeliner at Ipswich, where he was backed in the favourite, which was hard to believe at the time because it was from barrier 12, had to sit near the tail, and hooked widest, 3 wide the trip. And when you watch it, he was actually wobbling a bit around the bend, but still managed to hit the line strongly. It's hard to win at Ipswich anytime doing that, let alone in that red-hot field. Up to his favourite 1,400 metres on Saturday will sit handy, and I'm going for Moonee to put up a race-to-race double. Only knock is probably his record at Eagle Farm. However, since Team Edmonds have put the blinkers off him in February, this horse has taken himself to the next level. So I'm happy to go with those two favourites at Eagle Farm, and hopefully they should be getting the wins for us. Let's go through the summary. Adam, straightforward. Race 3, Cordia. He's good, isn't he, this Cordia? $2.20 for 2 units straight out. Lee's gone race 1, El Galil at $4.20. I'll make sure he does some homework next week on how to pronounce that for 1 unit. And also race 6, Condos Express, a unit each way at $6 and $2.20. And then myself at Eagle Farm, race 7, Socialising for 1.5 unit win, and race 8, Mr. Bellagio for 1.5 unit win for a race-to-race double for Moonee. All right. That's the summary. Around the grounds, guys, Adam, have you got anything?
No, nothing for me this week, mate. I'm just sticking to Sydney.
All right, no worries. Lee, have you got something? I'm hoping you're not going to take one of my tips at Belmont.
We'll see what happens, mate. We should have.
Maybe I should start talking then, and you can go after me.
Okay, go on.
All right, go on. You know what I'm going to tip. It's Belmont race 5, Serenity Bay, $2, I think it is at the moment, for 1.5 unit the win. Pikey's back on after jumping off her to ride Inspirational Girl, a last start. That was a very smart move, as we know. Serenity Bay jumped touch awkwardly and got too far back, but rallied late to only be beaten 2.2 lengths by Inspirational Girl. And you know, they ran time, and she's quality, so it was quite a good run. There's 2 or 3 potential leaders in this race, which will set up a nice tempo for Serenity Bay, because it'll sit back and Pikey will weave his magic and get them late. Lee, is that one you were going to pick up?
It's actually not, but I definitely considered it, mate. So we're probably, that's probably a good thing.
All right, you didn't tip against it, did you?
No, definitely not. No, I nearly put in. I'm just going to do an all up, keep things simple this time around, and I nearly chucked it in, but I didn't want to go too hard, and I figured that you'd probably tip it anyway. So that works out well, mate.
It was a flashing light run, so for sure. What do you got?
Absolutely. So just a 2-leg all up. The first one I'm going to go is race 2, number 2, Pans Down. So. Look, he looks a really good type out of a New Siren Panzer division. I think he was ex Arrowfield. Yeah, that's right. So he's only had 9 starters. So and this is one of them. He won well in his first start off the 3 impressive trials. And this race looks to set up the exact same way. From the good draw, should sit up around the speed and Pikey on. So I'm pretty confident to be on him. That's the first leg. And then into race 4, number 3, not to be missed. I spoke about him after last start. This is the race he wants. Mile, weak field, Pikey, and draws to get a sweet run this time and sit a bit closer. Just get on, just wins. So I'm going to have 2 units on that all up.
Yeah. So I've got Belmont race 2, Pans Down at $2.40 and not to be missed at $1.95. So that gives you, $4 units. That should be a pretty safe bet, I would have thought. And yeah, not to be missed, should be winning this for sure. All right, guys, that was short and sweet. I like it. Off to Roughie Roulette. Roughie Roulette
is a very dangerous game, not for the faint of heart. Let us begin.
All right, guys, Roughie Roulette again. Let's get into it. Boys, can we beat 6th place like we did last week, all of us? Adam at Randwick, I think you've got something in race 4 you were saying?
Yes, mate, I do. Race 4, number 6, Look Only. First up, this horse is trained by little-known trainer Fabian as a party. Okay, and this guy, I honestly haven't seen him around before. But apart from with this mare who's won 4 in a row, she won a highway at the track and distance last prep quite impressively, showing a really impressive turn of foot, putting them away. So I'm hopeful she's continuing to improve. And yeah, as I said, Mr. Azzopardi, this is the only horse he's got in work. And I just feel if this was a horse trained by a bigger name trainer, we wouldn't be getting $23 about her. She's quite a handy little filly. She goes about her work in good style. She's very, very versatile. I've seen her lead races before and win. She's also sat well back and won. So I feel in this week with a lot of speed and gauge, she will take a sit midfield with cover and hopefully be able to use that turn of the foot to effect and put them away at the good odds of $23.
Yeah, 23 and 450, and she's not well bred either. So I think I don't even know who the sire Night Exemplar is. So.
I remember him, Blake. I do remember the horse. He was only an average horse. He was by Exceed and Excel, but he did run in good races as a 2 and 3 year old. I'm gonna say he ran a good race in a Coolmore start. Didn't win, but was near the placings.
Nice little cheap.
Was there a Night Exemplar that came up to Brisbane running a few races?
Yeah, I think you're right, Lee.
Yeah,
could be.
He was in Sydney first, and then he got sold off and come up Queensland. So.
He raced in James Harron colours, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, gotcha.
And got anything else to say, Lee, while you're there? You usually do.
No, mate, I'm good. Nothing.
No, nothing about the Azzopardi because he's a dog owner or a trainer.
Yeah, I was going to ask that, mate. We can ask that again if you want. But Adzi, mate, is he relation to Azzopardi's down south that training the dogs?
I'm not sure, mate. There's quite a few Azzopardi's that get around. Like obviously you got Anthony Azzopardi in the dogs, who's a top class Group 1 dog trainer. There's another Azzopardi who's an owner in dogs as well. He owned a champion called Zambora Brocky, and apparently they're not related in any way. So who knows, mate? But yeah. I suppose he could be related. We might find out if we win the race. They might bring that up in the post-race interview with a bit of luck.
Straight from the dog's mouth there, if I could say so myself.
That's
you
terrible.
That is very terrible. Hey, mate, you might have to start your own dog tips on here, I reckon.
Oh, mate, my dog tips have declined over time. Or not as good as I used to be, but yeah.
That's all right. That's all right, as long as you get this one home for the followers out there. Race 4, look only at $23. Lee, at the Valley, you got anything?
I haven't actually got anything in the Valley. I looked about 5 times, but I've decided to go over to Perth for my roughie. So hopefully Perth does me good. I've gone with race 8, number 9, Amelia's on Fire at $20 and $4.40. So this mare was never a hope last start from barrier 15, but was really tough, sat up on speed, 4 wide with no cover, hit the lead at one point, but just peaked over the last 100 metres to finish just 3 lengths off the winner, who was a good horse in Long Beach. She also only finished 2.8 lengths off Silken Eyes in that, and Silken Eyes is $2.70 favourite in this. So, and that horse on another occasion sat last and ran on with the bias. So I feel that Amelia can definitely turn the table on that. Before that start, Amelia's on Fire got back too far on an on-pace track, so you can forgive that. And last spring, she was going good enough for them to take her to Melbourne for a black type race. So I feel she's got plenty of ability. She just hasn't quite shown it in performances this prep, but I feel third up she can definitely do that. She draws to do absolutely no work from barrier 2 in and around the speed, and Chris Barnum knows how to get a roughie up. So let's back her in.
Yeah, I think you're on the right track there. I actually had a real good look at this race because I was a bit in all sorts at Eagle Farm, and I definitely thought Amelia's on Fire had a chance because you got the likes of Silken Eyes, who just can't win at the moment, and is $2.70, and then Cliffs of Comfort's coming back and draws barrier 11. So there's a bit of a risk there. They're both very good horses, but yeah, something that's a bit wider can hopefully do the job for Lee at Belmont at race 8. I went back to Eagle Farm. Race 5, I've gone Galapagos, $26 and $6.50 for the usual half unit each way. It's pretty tough pickings this week, as I said. Favourite in this race is Chico Milagro, who burnt me last start and was close to featuring in the Lay of the Day segment later on. Galapagos should land midfield, one off the pace in what looks a fast tempo. Difficult to line up the Scone form. However, his last run was solid, beaten only 2.2 lengths. The 3 kilo claimer got him caught early, a bit wide, settled nicely though, and then probably could have given a bit more, but was carrying 59 kilos. Previous run in the highway handicap settled 4 wide, no cover, and lost a plate in the process. So a complete forgive run there. And previous at Armidale pulled up sore. So the owners haven't had much luck at all. They've brought him up north and drops 3.5 kilos on Saturday from that Scone run to run at 55 kilos. And hopefully over that short distance can sit nicely and get in the money for us and beat our 6th place, as we said. So a bit of a look over for the followers out there with pad and pencil. We've got Adam at Randwick Race 4, look only at $23. Lee is at Belmont Race 8. Amelia's on fire at $21. And Just Wins at Eagle Farm Race 5, Galapagos at $26. Come on, boys, we've got to get this up. We have to.
Mate, we are so due.
I think it stinks because we started so well and then it's just gone flat, and even everyone out there that's been commenting has been a bit flat lately. So everyone's due, I think, for sure. All right, that's Roughie Roulette for another week. Let's get on to our new segment in Lay of the Day.
What? Did we just
Start a new segment?
Yup. You want to go?
Lay some favourites in the podcast.
Yup.
All right, Lay of the Day, Randwick. Adam, take us away.
Oh, I will start by saying I promise to do better next week. Everyone out there, I've laid one that's probably a pretty easy lay. When I come up with this earlier today, it was paying $4.40 and it was second favourite, but now it's drifted out 25% out to $5.50. So it's not much of a lay, but anyway, I'm laying race 1, number 6, Lubuck for the Waller team. He's a bit of a pansy, this horse.
That stinks, Adam.
I'm sorry. I can't change my mind now. I just anyway, I'll do better next week. That's all I promise. And this horse, it fell in last start at Kembla. It had all the favours in the run and only beat Katana Head, who didn't have all the favours, had to make a long run down the outside. And I think as I said, it's a bit of a non-winner. Third up record's no good, none from 2. It's its first try at Randwick. There's not a lot of depth in this race, but I still think horses like Syncline, Bazooka, Fling even should beat it. So that's my lay.
All right, mate. You'll probably start off with a lay winner, I guess you could say, or a lay loser.
Or if I don't, I'm struggling. That's for sure.
Yeah, you'll have to lift your game for next week. All right. Lee at the Valley, what do you got?
Going with race 8, number 2, Winning Partner. So it's between $3.50 and $3.90 on most bookies, and it is a favourite. So we'll start off on the right foot, Adsy. Anyway, so I've just got down here. He's obviously a handy horse, but I just don't think the Valley suits him. He's quite a big horse, and this race doesn't suit that well either. He's a get-back run-on horse, and barrier 2 with a 3 kilo claimer who's only had about 20 city rides on a Saturday isn't really a good formula for a horse at this price anyway. He also hasn't placed in anything above 1,400 in his 3 previous attempts. So I think the horse drawn inside him, Surreal Image, will go forward as well. So I can see him getting back sort of 4 or 5 pairs on the rail and just having absolutely no luck. So that's why I'm going to go against him.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's the Valley Race 8 Winning Partner at, I've got $3.90 here, so you'll just have to...
No worries.
Okay. All right. At Eagle Farm, I'm at race 3. I'm taking on Super Honest Gelding here in Stuttering at $2.90. Geez, I'm laying the shortest price out of all you guys. What's going on? Anyways, coming off a solid win with a big weight last start against Eurobell and Roman Aureus, who has since won. Sounds like I'm putting in a tip here, but I'm not. Stuttering's essentially a 3-year-old, but because it's the 1st of August on Saturday, it's a 4-year-old and goes up against the older horses in this race. I just think from barrier 9, you've got Ron Stewart on, who hasn't been running great since his return from injury, and I think he will try a bit too hard and try and find a spot behind the lead with cover. But there's enough inside speed there to make him work for it at least, or worst case scenario for it, best case scenario for us, getting trapped 3 wide. Over the mile at Eagle Farm is the other query. Has run over that well in the past, but I think with all that early race pressure, taking the punt in the last 50 metres, one of these older horses can run over the top of it. So that's race 3, Stuttering at $2.90. Lee, the rules for this game, what are we doing? Are we laying it for 100, so our liabilities, say for that, is 290?
Yep.
All right, that makes it easy.
Still running total.
Straight to the point, and I think it's good for followers out there because it's quite easy to jump into some of these favourites and back them. But as we've seen in the past with Adam talking about Portia and Fulmina and giving them a wide berth, and they've done nothing. It's good for them to just have a double think about it. We're not obviously going to put you off from backing them if you really like them. However, this is just our play. We'll tally it over the weeks to come, and we'll see how that's running. It's a new segment, so get behind it. We'll be putting a poll up for you guys to see which one you guys think is the biggest chance of losing, and obviously send in your messages if you think it's something else or you've got something a bit shorter. I think we'll all be on Adam to tip something that's possibly a favourite or $4 and lower.
It's not hard to find something shorter than me this week, mate. So
no worries. Lift your game next week, mate. Come on. All right, boys. That's another week of the podcast. Thanks very much for joining us. And again, guys out there, the followers, DM me if you need anything. Get on those play-up promos for sure. And if you want to have a chat to me, just DM me. I'm always open. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you, mate.
No worries.
All right, and that's it. Cheers.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and get involved in the comments. Best of luck and happy punting.
Can he do it? Chautauqua, he's flying! Yes! There's history!
But a champion becomes a legend. McCartney Dever has won it. The pride of Australia is the greatest show on earth.